Take off the pack nice and slow. Put that hand on me again, you won't get it back.
For the first time since the 2010 release of the Book of Eli, there's big news for the franchise. A prequel series is officially in the works. While the project is still in development, it already has some heavy hitters attached, including Star Wars alum John Boyega, who's set to play a younger version of Eli, the role originally brought to life by Denzel Washington. Adding to the excitement, the original movie's writer Gary Whitta is returning as the series' creator, executive producer, and head writer. Boyega isn't just starring, he'll also be taking on the role of executive producer alongside the Hughes Brothers, who directed the original film. Even though the prequel doesn't have a streaming platform or network home yet, it's expected to get picked up quickly given the talent involved. With such a strong foundation, fans can look forward to seeing this exciting chapter of the Book of Eli universe come to life. The 2010 post-apocalyptic thriller The Book of Eli is making a comeback, but this time as a prequel TV series. The original cult classic starred Denzel Washington as Eli, a mysterious blind man navigating a desolate wasteland while carrying humanity's last hope. With its intense action and gritty setting, The Book of Eli was a prime example of late 2000s Hollywood action films. Critics had mixed opinions, though, and while the movie made $150 million at the box office on an $80 million budget, it probably just broke even after factoring in marketing costs, which usually double the production budget. Despite that, it gained a loyal following over the years, thanks to its fascinating post-apocalyptic world. Fans have long hoped for a sequel, but instead, the story is continuing with this prequel series, offering a fresh take on the franchise. So far, John Boyega is the only confirmed star for the Book of Eli prequel series, taking on the role of Eli. As for the rest of the cast, it's too early to make any guesses. Given the original film's storyline, it's unlikely that many of its other characters will return. Since Eli is a stranger to everyone else in the movie, any familiar faces would probably need to appear in separate, unrelated storylines. Since the Book of Eli ended with a definitive conclusion to Eli's story, it makes sense for the prequel series to explore events before the apocalypse that reshaped the world. While details about the plot remain unknown, the show will likely focus on introducing the world and its characters just before disaster strikes, then follow how they adapt to the harsh new reality. It will also need to dive into Eli's transformation from an ordinary man into a skilled fighter with a profound mission. For years, fans have floated the idea of a sequel, but a direct continuation seems unlikely. The movie's ending was not only emotionally impactful, but also tied deeply to its themes, and revisiting the story beyond that point could undermine what made it resonate. That said, the prequel series could renew interest in expanding the franchise in other directions. One intriguing possibility for The Book of Eli 2 could be a second prequel, set after the upcoming series but before the events of the 2010 film. This approach would allow for a Mad Max-style storytelling format, with Eli's adventures unfolding out of chronological order. If the prequel series performs well, it could pave the way for new chapters in the franchise that keep its legacy alive while respecting the original movie's conclusion. With that in mind, there are definitely some intriguing questions that John Boyega's The Book of Eli prequel series could tackle. For starters, how did Claudia end up as Carnegie's mistress? In the film, Carnegie relies on Claudia, a blind woman, to translate hidden information in Braille text, which is a key reason he keeps her close. Played by Jennifer Beals, Claudia has a unique dynamic with Gary Oldman's villainous Bill Carnegie, who rules his people through fear but shows a more tender side to her. The movie hints at a history between them, but the prequel series could dive deeper, shedding light on their backstory and how their relationship evolved into what we see in the film. Another big question is, what happened to the rest of the world? The movie focuses entirely on a post-apocalyptic America, leaving viewers to wonder if the destruction was global or if some places managed to avoid the catastrophe. While the film implies that the rest of the world may also have fallen, it doesn't confirm anything. Could parts of the world have struck deals to stay out of each other's way and rebuild? While that theory feels like a stretch, the prequel series has the perfect opportunity to explore what's left of the world outside of America and finally give us a clear answer. One more thing that's still unclear is how Carnegie and Redridge even crossed paths. Redridge, played by the late Ray Stevenson, is Carnegie's loyal right-hand man, always by his side and ready to back him up. While Carnegie is loud and unpredictable, Redridge is calm and more of a strategist, as shown during his showdown with Eli. It'd be interesting to see how these two characters ended up teaming up and leading the chaotic world together. There's also a moment where Redridge could have shot Solera, but he doesn't, which makes you wonder if he had some kind of moral code before the world went to hell, maybe from his time in the police or military. One of the most exciting questions that the prequel series could explore, at least I think it would be awesome, is how Carnegie became such a powerful figure. In the Book of Eli, he's feared by pretty much everyone, but we never really get the full backstory on how he took control of the former United States. It's possible he had some power before the apocalypse, but nothing is clear. The prequel could fill in those gaps and show what his life was like before everything fell apart. Was he a politician? Or maybe he was just really prepared for the end of the world? Either way, exploring his backstory could really explain how he became such a dominating force. Furthermore, what the Book of Eli prequel series has to tackle is how Eli became so skilled at surviving and thriving in the post-apocalypse. In the movie, Eli's mysterious and serious nature works to make him seem like more of a force of nature than a regular guy, but for the TV series, we'll need to see how he actually learned to handle weapons, track people, and all those other survival skills. Maybe he had a mentor growing up, or maybe he taught himself. Either way, it's a big piece of his backstory that needs exploring. Also, Eli's blindness is one of the best plot twists of the 2010s, and the movie does a great job dropping subtle clues about it, like how he handles shootouts. He waits for his enemies to shoot first, which lets him use his hearing to figure out where they're standing. Looking ahead, it could be that Eli loses his sight when he witnesses the nuclear explosion known as the Flash, which could be the event that triggers his blindness in the prequel. And finally, the biggest question of all, what actually caused the apocalypse? The film hints at a world on the brink of destruction due to society's growing distrust and tensions, possibly leading to a nuclear war. With concerns about nuclear weapons and the threat of World War III being so relevant today, the Book of Eli prequel will probably dive deep into that backdrop to set the stage for the catastrophe. While the movie suggests that the world's superpowers eventually turned on each other, the prequel can explore the lead-up to the end in a more detailed, dramatic way, giving us a clearer picture of what went down before everything fell apart. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.